It's calling your name. You've been building an empire, still stuck in the game. It's not hustle, it's holy now. You're meant for more, let me show you how. No more shrinking, no more someday. You've paid your dues, it's your era, babe. You're not alone, you're chosen queen. The next level's waiting, step in the dream. Step into the circle, feel the flame. Aligned and divine, you're staking your claim. Magic in motion, power and truth. This is your portal back to you. Step into the circle, take your...
Oh, thank you for hanging in there for me to share that. For those of you that don't know, I actually wrote the lyrics, and my sister created the AI voice and the music and put it together for me. So it was a joint effort between my sister and I, and it's just something that I created just specifically for this summit. So I was really excited to share it and really wanted it to use it to just kick off, because I really poured like everything I had into it, because that's exactly what I wanted this to be. I wanted it to feel aligned. I wanted it to feel empowering. And I really wanted it to speak to each and every person that not only gets to come and speak here today, and over the next 3 days, I should say, but also those that get to come and join us and listen and be with us. So, oh my gosh, we're here. I'm so excited. All right. All right. Okay. Let me see. Am I still sharing my screen or no? Okay, good. Okay. I just want to make sure. Okay, tech. It's always my friend. And you guys, I practiced for like the last 3 days, getting on and off and making sure that everything worked flawlessly. I was even on the last half hour before we came on, making sure that everything worked. And then, yeah, I mean, and it happens, right? Like, it doesn't matter. You can prep, you can prepare, and sometimes you just have to roll with it. And that is what this is all about, is coming in and just getting real. And sometimes the real is, it doesn't go right. Like, sometimes that is the real. Sometimes it just, you get what you get and you have to roll with it. So thank you for doing that with me this morning. And welcome. Welcome, beloved CEOs, to the Aligned CEO Conversations Summit. I feel like I've just been just take a moment with me and let's just take a breath. Whew. Because legacy is really not supposed to be hustle, right? It's supposed to be about getting into the flow and enjoying what you're doing. It really is. Like, I don't know where in the world it became where it was a struggle, where you were supposed to, like, struggle was a good word. Oh, if you struggle, you'll get there. No, that is so not what I want in my business. And that's why I invited the speakers that I have with us, because they don't want it either. They're not here to call in struggle. They're here to call in flow. They're here to call in alignment. So pause with me for just a moment and let's feel the weight of where your body is at, where you sit right now. Just take a breath in through your nose and let it out slowly. And one more time in. Inhaling that possibility and exhaling the noise of the day. Now place your hand over your heart and I want you to feel that rhythm. Feel that rhythm. That's not just your heartbeat. It's the drum of destiny, syncing with something greater, right? In this moment, you're not alone. Not even if you feel you might be alone in your living room, but you're not alone. Not at your desk. You're here seated at a sacred table. A circle written in the stars, surrounded by visionaries who carry keys meant for you. So I want you to call an intention into your body right now. Just call in that intention. Whisper it silently, right? Or heck, you can yell it out loud if you'd like. Maybe it's clarity or healing or wealth or peace, freedom. Whatever it is, I invite it to rise to the surface and be seen. Because over the next few days, this summit will breathe into that intention with you. Every speaker you're about to meet is not just here to teach, they're initiators, they're activators, door openers, right? Each voice carries medicine. Each story is encoded. Some will bring you clarity. Some will bring you fire. Some will bring holy remembrance. So don't sit back like this content, like this is just content, like this is just something else to do today. All right. Lean in like it's prophecy. Let every laugh, right? Because that's where it's at, right? It's all in that joy. Let every laugh, let every story, let every truth crack something open inside. Because it will. If you really allow yourself to immerse in these women's stories and what they have to share, it will feel like it's been spoken into your bones. And when it lands, don't question it, just receive. All right. This is not just a summit. This is alignment incarnate. This is initiation. This is the movie trailer, let's say, of your next chapter. All right. And you are not just watching it, you are starring in it. And now, let me reveal the circle you've stepped into. Randy Fector, your profit margin pathfinder, showing you the clearest way forward for your business. Kate Allison, turning words into legacy with the kind of book that will outlive you, really, right? And that's what we want when we're looking for legacy, right? Sarah Dawkins is whispering the deepest reminder: you are not broken. Not broken. Healing. Renee Coster is transforming chaos into absolute clarity with alchemy of an aligned course, right? And I knew that. I mean, I know, I feel every single one of these speakers to my bones already. That's why I invited them here. That's why I said, you must be on this stage, right? Crystal Silvas, piercing the hidden fog of identity so you can finally see yourself clearly. Samantha Went, carrying prophetic fire to restore what you thought was lost. Lori Baines, bridging the gap when your brand no longer reflects your brilliance. Yes. Yes. Been just rebranding myself over this last like 6 months or so. Feeling it, right? I'm feeling all of these. Kim Parkinson, unlocking the next level of your voice through your podcast growth. I'm going to be listening. I actually have my book so I can take notes. I am going to be just as interactive as I'm asking each and every one of you to be. These women have something to say and it's important and I want you to hear it and not miss it. Massey. Masaya. My love, my life. She's going to be aligning the chakras of business itself so abundance flows like breath. So each one of these women has something outstanding for you. And of course, me, Bonnie MD, your mirror, the holy mischief maker. All right. I'm standing here, keeper of the portal, weaving joy and fire and divine remembrance in and out as we listen to each one of these women, right? So, because even though I put this together, this isn't just about me. This is about each one of these beautiful speakers that I'm just so honored to have with us here today. So breathe it in, loves. You've crossed the threshold. The roundtable is about to begin. But before we cross, let's just do some sacred housekeeping really quickly. Make sure you've hit the restroom. If you need to go, go now. Go now. Hydration and revelation don't mix well when you're doing the summit shuffle. Okay. So like if you got to go ahead and go. And if you need to get up at any time, please, just come back as soon as you're done. All right. Get cozy. If you need a pillow, blanket, slippers. I don't know if you're wearing your jammies, right? If you're from the bottom down, you're all up in jammies. Hey, if you're from the top up and you're still in jammies, good for you. You're braver than I am. I actually considered it today. It was one of those days I was like, maybe jammies will get it done. So grab your pen, grab your notebook, tissues. You never know when those tears will come on. I don't know about you, but I am a crier. I am a releaser, I should say. I release, I allow myself. So yes, breakthroughs can leak out through the eyeballs, right? So be prepared for that. If you're a crystal babe, feel free to grab some crystals, have those, stack them at your desk, rose quartz, citrine, amethyst, make a grid. You know what I'm saying? All right. Now camera's on so we can see your gorgeous faces. I do see most, I see that, I think everybody is actually on camera today. What? Yes. All right. Mike's muted though, because we don't want to hear the doorbell symphony, just in case. Now we don't want you to stay muted this whole time, not if you're on the round table, right? We actually want to hear from you. So when you have things to say, please unmute, right? This is going to be a round table. So I don't necessarily expect you to raise your hand per se, but let's try to also keep from talking over each other to the best of our ability, right? So make sure you've got that, your journal or something to write in, so that when the breakthroughs come, or when you're like that aha, and you don't want to forget, and even though you'll have these replays, right? Sometimes we don't know where to go back into the replay. We can't find what it was. So notes become imperative at times, especially when it's that something that hits you and you're like, oh my gosh, pick up that pen, just pick it up, write it down real quick. Okay. We'll be dropping links in the chat as we go. So keep an eye on that, right? Sort of like the stock market of your next level empire, right? Because that's where we're going to be. Don't forget, you'll be able to grab freebies. And listen, being an entrepreneur CEO means this 1 minute you're in sacred activation. The next, you're explaining to your kid why cookies aren't a food group. And then you're back on Zoom like nothing happened, right? Multi-dimensional living, goddesses. So don't let anyone tell you that you are not a magician. You are absolutely a magician, and you're here to share that magic. All right. So now that we're settled in, it's time for one of my favorite parts, and this is the roundtable. This isn't your average stiff panel where everyone gives cookie cutter answers. Not a chance. This is where we're going to pull back the curtain and sip the metaphorical champagne, so to speak, and talk about real stories behind building business, right? And actually support the lives that we want to live. So if you want to hear the truths, the wins, the pivots, the sacrifices, all the stuff that nobody actually puts out on social media, right? I don't know. Have you ever gotten brave and gotten on social media? Anybody raise hands? Anybody gotten brave on social media, showed up like with your hair like, and like it's been a horrible day and you're like, I'm just going to go ahead and share exactly where I'm at in this moment. I am so proud of you. I just want to take a moment and honor you. That is amazing. I want to, seriously, this is not a joke. This is not, I'm not being facetious or joking. I honor that. I am still seeking out that kind of bravery. I am still looking for that sort of inner strength that you're already showing. Amazing. Thank you, because you've inspired me. Just seeing the raise of hands and knowing that someone else has gone it before me that I actually know actually helps me feel better. And you know what? I'm like, maybe tomorrow morning, as soon as I wake up, before I do anything, and I've got that, you look like you just rolled out of bed look, I might give it a whirl. All right. Sorry. Okay. Back to what we were doing. Okay. So let's go ahead and dive into the summit. I am so excited. So excited. All right. Okay. I'm so excited. I just can't thank you all enough for being here. All of our speakers coming out today. Let's roll into some questions here. All right. So I'll get us started with the first answer so you can see sort of how this is going to sort of roll, just to get the ball rolling. And you can also answer, of course. I'm just saying I'll give an answer to just sort of get us going here. So let's see. Let's start with the first question. Do you remember the first moment you thought, wow, my business just gave me freedom I never thought I would have in a 9 to 5? Okay. I remember, I remember, like, big time remember the first time I realized we were traveling down the interstate in our RV. My husband was driving, and I was back in the bedroom on the bed doing a call with a client bouncing down the road, headed for a winery in New Mexico. I was like, I mean, you want to talk about one of those moments. I was in the middle of that call with my client when it like hit me, and I was like, oh my God. And she was like, what? What? Like, and I was like, oh no, I was like, I had a revelation. Like, because sometimes don't you have, I don't know about you, but I have revelations in the middle of client calls all the time. I'm like, oh, what I'm saying to her, oh, is meant for me. Oh, right. And as it turned out, it was meant for both of us. So there you go. But anyway, this was one of the that holy beep moment, right? Where I was like, this is it. This is that freedom I've been searching for, that there's no way I could have ever had as a nurse in scrubs. Like, that was never going to happen, right? Like, and not that there was a 9 to 5 clock in those scrubs either, but just for the sake of talking about, we all know what a 9 to 5 job means to us, right? Although a lot of us didn't actually have a 9 to 5. So tell me, I now want to hear from our roundtable. Do you remember the first moment you thought, wow, my business just gave me freedom I would have never had in a 9 to 5? Go ahead, share.
Yeah, you just when you said that, it brought me to a moment because at first I was like, I don't know, but then I remember the exact moment. I was actually traveling, and I was in Dominican Republic at the time, and I remember I had to give it wasn't a summit like this, but it was I was teaching a group that was invited to another to a program to give a talk on the chakras. And I just remember being in like my mother's house in the Dominican Republic. She lives there, and like, this beautiful backyard was there at the time. And I remember being on my laptop there, and as I'm giving the speech, I'm looking around and I'm like, I'm in the Dominican Republic with this beautiful view, beautiful weather. My mom is taking care of I only have one little girl at the time. She was taking care of my daughter, but we were there for 2 whole months. And I was just like, I didn't have to ask anybody for vacation. I didn't have to ask anybody for permission. I didn't have to like go into an office. It was just me on my own time, on my own terms. I set the time, I set the tone. And as I was literally giving that speech, I was like, wow. Like, I literally had one of those like epiphany moments. And that time I was like, this is amazing. Like, this is what it's all about. And like, before that moment, that was my first year I felt that. Before that, I was working corporate for like nearly 13 years. And I had my business on the side. So I was like working 24/7. And just that freedom of like, I get to work just a couple of hours a day now. But in that moment, that was the moment that I remember sitting there like, this is amazing. And after this, I'm going to the beach. That was a really cool moment.
I love that. Yes, exactly. After this, I'm going to the beach, right?
Cocktail on a Monday afternoon. Yeah.
Who else would like to share? Yes.
Yeah, it took me like Maisie, it took me a minute to think, do I really remember? And then a couple of years ago when we moved into our new home in our new state, son started a new school, and he's like, "Are you going to be able to volunteer? Are you going to be able to come into class?" And I was like, I am. And the day I went and picked up my volunteer badge so that I could go in and volunteer for my son's class, and I got to go in and read a story to his class. I got to be a chaperone on his fifth grade picnic. All of those things that I wasn't able to do before, I was suddenly free to be like, oh, sorry, I can't meet that time because I'm going to school. And that was just such a great moment to know that I could do that for him and now for both him and his little brother. So
Oh, those moments are huge, right? And to be able to say, absolutely, I'm going to be there without a doubt, right? Oh, yes. Oh, I feel that. I feel that big time because I didn't have it with my first child. I had my children very far apart. I had my first as a teenager, then one as an adult. And so they were extremely spread out. And with the one, it was scrubs and not 9 to 5, much longer, 12-hour shifts, that sort of thing. So that, hits me. It all hits me. Being able to go to the beach, being like, these are the things, right? These are the reasons. And this is why I get so excited to help other women step into their business, right? I mean, that's why I'm sure that does the same thing for you, right? When you're helping a woman advance her own business, you're like, oh, she's going to get to experience the things like I did. She's going to get to say yes to things that she didn't get to say yes to before. And I know that feeling, right? Oh, I love this. I love it. Okay, who else wants to share? Anybody else on this first question? Yes. Lori.
I will say that the first time it really hit me was I had left my corporate job in March of 2017, I believe. And that was the first summer that I did not have to send my daughter to summer camp because I had to go to my job. And the long hours, and I had freelance on the side, so I was always working. And it was so much fun that summer. We had a blast. We did day trips and we went to the beach and explored all over the place. She was able to have her friends over and have sleepovers, but I could still do work in these little pockets of time and adjust my schedule around having fun. And that was just so amazing to finally be able to do that.
Yes, exactly. It's a whole different world when you're working it right? I don't know about you, but it was not initially like that for me. I was told to hustle harder than I had ever hustled before, including in any sort of corporate job, I was told just get after it, don't stop until it works. And so I did. I hit it hard. I was tired all the time. I was not in any kind of flow. I was not in any kind of real love with my business at that point. In fact, I kind of despised it every day. When I would get up, I would say, oh my gosh, I have to do all these things today, because it was hard and fast with the mentors I had at the time. You either do this or you fail. And so I was like, oh God, well, I don't want to fail. Right? I spent money with you, first of all, for you to yell at me and tell me I'm gonna fail. Right? And that's how so when I finally did find the alignment, that's when it switched. So for those that might be watching that are new, please understand, not all of us immediately got these responses. I had been in business for a while before that bumpy road trip. Right? That before I had been heading down that road in that RV, it had been a bit. I had to work through understanding, and I was still, even at that time, working through understanding what real alignment was in my business. And that it didn't mean that I had to do 80 hours a week at home to prove I was important and getting it done. Right? So if you're new to this, if you're just stepping into the entrepreneurial CEO role, it's okay if you don't have it all figured out. It's okay if you've been told to hustle and you're like, that doesn't feel right. You're right. For mass majority of us, we are not built that way. We are not built to go until we drop. It's just, we're not built to push our own business so hard we can't stand to look at it anymore, because that's not an aligned business. That's just a business. And it might make you some money for now, but trying to keep it long term, trying to keep it going, trying to keep yourself going within it becomes disastrous. I know it was for me, right? And for a lot of us have stopped, started over, rebranded, done all of the things because we became so out of alignment with what initially was our dream, because we were pushed in different directions by different people, by different philosophies and ideals of how to run business. So in this particular group, we've all learned to align within our business, right? And so that's why I called this the aligned conversations, because and it takes a minute. It takes a minute to find out where alignment is in your business. Am I wrong? Right? It does. It takes a second to figure out what feels good to you and is still workable and doable and profitable. So it's okay if you're new and you haven't found it quite yet. You're going to get loads of information from all these beautiful speakers here today and over the next few days who are going to help you find that alignment. All right. Are we ready for our next question, or do we have anybody else that would like to share? Because I don't want to leave anybody out. If you still wanted to share, let's hear from you.
I'm happy to share.
Okay, let's hear. Yes.
So I stepped away from my job as a registered nurse in a hospital and became an entrepreneur. And I wasn't sure which avenue I would pursue, and put my profile up on LinkedIn with all the skills that I could imagine and listing from my nursing experience. And it was a real leap of faith because I had nothing to go to. I'd set a business up, but I had no clients, no business clue, nothing concrete at all. And within that first, I'd say week or maybe even 2 weeks of putting my profile up on LinkedIn, I had 4 job offers. Not, oh, would you like to fill in an application form? But 4 different businesses came forward and said, we want you to work for us, subcontracting through your business. So I looked at them all, went down and had a couple of face-to-face interviews to get more information for some of them, and actually took up all 4 job offers as a subcontractor through my business. And it was, I don't know, 2 or 3 months later, as I'd done some training for some of the businesses that I need specific training for, and then I was just left on my own with the other 2 businesses. I'm thinking, I can pick and choose my hours here. I can work as many hours as I want or as few hours as I want. I can choose the days that I want to work and the days that I want to have off. Whereas, as you know, as a nurse, we could put a request in there, I'd like this day off, but it wasn't always honoured. And there were 13-hour shifts, so you went in and you worked long, grueling hours. I'm like, I'm just going to work this like half a day here, full day there, do whatever here. And that was just, it really nourished my soul to know that A, these people came to me and said they want me to work for them, and B, I could choose the hours that I was working, because I've never had that. In nursing, it's like, no, you can't have that request. We've not got enough staff. You've got to work that day. So to be able to choose when I wanted that day off was fantastic.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Again, speaking right to me. Yeah, the whole no, you can't have that day. I was actually also a nurse and I was a psych nurse, and it was known you never take off anywhere around a full moon. It doesn't matter what month it is. It doesn't matter if there's a holiday. It doesn't matter if you're getting married. They don't care if it's a full moon, you will be at work and everyone will be at work. So or just don't come back. So yeah, and it got like that, or just don't come back, right? Nobody tells you that in your own business, or just don't come back. You're like, oh, I'm taking today. I need today. So today's going to be today, right? And that is such freedom, right? To say, and I don't know about you, but I even have now where I love it because I have days where I take clients and I have days where I don't take clients, right? I have, and I can shift those as necessary. Right. So, and I love that too, that my schedule can truly be oh, you know what? This week I'm going to do it from like Massey said, I'm going to do it from the Dominican this week, and you can. So yes. And nobody tell you can't, that's not doable. Right. All right. Anyone else would like to share? Kim? Are we good? Okay. I just want to make sure, like I said, I don't want to make sure we're not leaving anybody out here. We want to hear from everybody that would like to share. All right. So our next question is, what is one thing you had to let go of? A belief, a habit, or even people to truly step into being a CEO, right? What is the biggest thing, one thing that you had to let go of? Okay, let me give you an example. So mine is I had to really shed that what do you call it? Uh good girl good girl conditioning, the belief where you have to earn permission, you have to follow somebody's sort of rules and play small, right? So that everybody feels comfortable. Because I can be a lot to take. And I found in my lifetime, I'm a you like me or you really kind of don't. And I've had to make peace with that, right? And especially inside of my business because I am boisterous. That was the first thing my mother-in-law told me when she met me. Oh, aren't you boisterous? And I looked her right in the face and I said, "You think I don't know what that means?" Kicked off a beautiful relationship. But I am, and I know that, right? But I used to play it down and I would talk like this. And I would say, "Oh, it's so nice to meet you." When inside I'm like, "Yeah, oh, oh." But some people aren't yeah woo people. And so I was told, well, you can't be yeah woo if not everybody's yeah woo. Well, guess what I got? I got all sorts of clients and all sorts of people that were not my yeah woo because they were attracted to an energy that really wasn't my energy, right? It really wasn't me that was putting myself out there. It was some sort of weird alter ego that I didn't really make up, but just sort of called out and like, and so she would sit like this and be real proper and say, "Okay, so, yeah, thank you for coming. It's been really nice to speak with all of you." Oh my goodness, I can't even take it right now, trying to just mimic it for you in this moment, right? So tell me, what did you have to let go of? Come on, let's get real.
Oh, let me speak to that.
Yes, tell me, Sarah, what did you have to let go of?
Other people's opinions.
Oh,
Because you were a nurse, why would you want to leave that great job? And of course I went into natural self-healing as I stepped through my first business into my second business, but I was talking about self-healing all the time, like, what kind of crazy shit are you talking about? You just go to the doctor and take a pill. Why do you need to do anything else? You're just crazy. Why can't you be normal, is what I get all the time from my mother, all the time. And I've just been able to let go of that because that's her opinion. Her opinion of normal is eating the like standard diet and doing what the government tells her. And I'm like, no, that's not me. I'm a bit rebellious. I'm not going to do any of that. Thank you. I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
love it. Yes, people's opinions. Huge. Huge, I think, for a lot of us. Kim, yes, Kim, go.
I had to release the expectations that people had upon me. I'm the oldest child, and it was just always expected that I would go to college. I would go to, be in corporate. I would be this super successful corporate, supermodel. I'm 5'2", by the way, so that was never going to happen, right? I mean, it was just all these expectations on me as I was growing up, as I was in my early adulthood. And it wasn't until probably I hit my late 40s that I was like, I don't care what other people expect of me. I am done with that. I am me. And, my kids love me. My husband loves me. I love me. So to hell with the rest of them. So, yeah, I think it was releasing the expectations of others for sure.
Yes, love that. Renee, yes.
Yeah, I can feel everything that has already been said on this because I let go of everybody. I also am the oldest child. I'm the oldest grandchild. So those expectations, the first one to go to college. So, you got to go to grad school, you got to get this degree. And every time I didn't meet those expectations or I tried something new and realized it wasn't aligned, instead of saying, "Oh, you know yourself," I the people around me acted in a way that like I was failing because I wasn't meeting those expectations. And so I took on this persona of I I'm a quitter. I'm not a finisher. And until I let that go, I struggled in finding myself in my business. But once I let that go, that feeling of being a quitter and realizing that it wasn't that I was quitting, it's just that those things that I thought I wanted were not what I needed and not what really fulfilled me. And that was the biggest thing that helped in moving forward.
Wow. That one, yeah. These are hitting me. Like, yes, I feel all of this because I think most of us deal with all of these things, whether we're the oldest sibling or not, which by the way, I am. I noticed quite a few of us are like, that's me, oldest sibling also. Yes, so exactly. And yes, there is that added pressure, right? So that's just a little bit, but I think we've all dealt with the opinions. We've all dealt with the being pushed upon us expectations. We've right, like and so, yes, I feel each and every one of you. And it is so true, right? These are things that you have, if you want to be successful, have to step out of your head and get out of that mind frame, that kind of thought process that matters, what those people think, right? I love that. And thank you for being so open and vulnerable with that because it's true. It's hard sometimes to really think about that other people are somehow let down because we're following our passion and doing what we love. What? Like it doesn't even I can't even sometimes I can't even wrap my brain around it. How people just one moment, I'll be right with you. How people can in one hand like say they love you and in the other tell you how much what you do that you love is the wrong thing. Right? Yes, Dharma, you had your hand up?
I believe Sarah Dawkins is still pinned as the main speaker.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. There we go. Thank you. Assistant extraordinaire. All right. Okay. Do we have anybody else that would like to share on that particular question? All right, because I have just a fun one. Our next one is just a sort of fun to think about. If you could choose to run your business anywhere in the world for the next 6 months, where would you go? Where would you be running your business from? If you could be anywhere in the world. For myself, I'm thinking Italy. A little bit of cappuccino, a little bit of pasta, some cobblestone walks, right? Thinking a little bit of Italia, eh? Anybody going with me?
Oh my God, you read my mind. I was like, Italy. That's the first thing that popped in my head. Let's go. Southern Italy specifically.
All right, so we'll rent a place together. Okay,
I'm with you on that.
right? Okay, so where do come on? Everybody has to have at least an answer for this one. Tell me, Renee, where are you going for 6 months? Where are you headed?
I don't have a place specifically, but a beach, like maybe a beach. I love the beach to be able to go out and walk. Lori, I am so envious. To be able to go out and take a walk every morning before sitting down and working and just being able to see the waves. Yeah.
Lori, do you live on the beach? We're going to sidetrack for just a second.
I live about 15-minute drive from the beach and I walk most mornings on the beach. Yes, that is how I start my day and it is the best.
Excellent. We're full-time RVers, so we actually are living in a preserve right now that is on the beach.
Oh,
so
that's wonderful.
So yeah. So tell me, Lori, now that since you're on already, where would you go 6 months? Where are you headed?
I would say that I'm probably going to go to Europe for 6 months, but travel. Like, I don't want to be just in one place. I want to explore because I'm not a sit still kind of girl. So I want to be able to, maybe be in Italy for a month and then maybe head to Greece and maybe to Spain. I've already been to Portugal many times and I love it. So I don't know. I think that I would just want to explore some very interesting, I have a bucket list, of course, but I would not want to pick just one, because I know that I can work anywhere.
Beautiful. All right. So I'm grabbing my passport. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to jump on your train and we're going to just go ahead and travel Europe. I'm down for that. I'm in.
Absolutely.
Kim, where are you headed?
Oh, anywhere and everywhere. Just like Lori, I went to Universal Studios 2 weeks ago, worked from there. I'm headed to Maine in like 3 weeks. I'm going to work from there. I'm headed to Utah in like 4 weeks. I'm going to work from there. So yeah, I have laptop, I have microphone, will travel. I'm good.
Love
Tell me
it.
where we're going. I'm going.
Love it. Love it. Have microphone will travel. Yes. 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 That is it. That is exactly it. Yes, I'm headed for Disney. Again, because I love it there. By the way, you can join me. So check your email. If you didn't get the deets, you can join me there later this month. All right. Yes, I love that. I might steal that, Kim. Have microphone will travel. So if you see that on my Instagram,
Do it. Do
of
it.
course I'll give you a nod. I'll give you a nod. Be like, I might have stolen this. Because that really is. That should be a bumper sticker. Have a microphone will travel. All right. All right. So Sarah isn't back yet. So but I love this. All right. So Massey and I are going to head to Italy. We'll be hanging out on the beach when Renee gets there. And then when Lori shows up with the travel plans, and then Kim swoops in with the microphones, we'll all grab our passports and hit the go button. I am so in. So I'm going to go ahead and pack. All right. Next question. When you first started, what was the dream you were chasing? And how close is your business today to that original vision? Original vision. I don't know about y'all, but mine looks nothing like my original vision. Nothing. Not even close. Not even close. Not that that's a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. I have evolved. I have awakened. I have up-leveled. Yes, Massey.
Mine, I mean, my vision has changed so many times. I've pivoted my business so many times. Because my first was started, all of it was getting a yoga certification and saying I want to own my own studio and start teaching people holistic healing and like just yoga stuff. And at that moment, it was just to build a community. I mean, it still is, to be honest. Like it's still, I feel like the vision is similar, but like the way I've done it is just has pivoted a lot. But I just remember at the initial spark was I was working a lot on a corporate role, and I was like, I just want to be my own boss. I always knew I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit since I was a little girl. I would make things and sell them to people like randomly ever since I was like 5. Yeah. And I just remember like, I want to be my own boss. I want to have my own business. And everybody at that time was like, that's not going to work, especially within the yoga space. They were like, you can't just take a certification and own your own business. You have to like work for other studios first and you have to gain a following. And I was like, screw all that. Like I went and got my LLC right away. I rented this place right away. And like I built a small community really, really quickly, actually. But I remember at that point, the vision was like just to work for myself, make my own hours, and build a strong community. And it took me a lot of years because I was still doing it part-time while I had the full-time job. And I still had that fear of like, I don't want to leave the security of my income. I had a really good role in my corporate business, but it took me a couple of years to get there. But now I am in that place where like I have like that freedom, like that time freedom is really the most important part for me, and like that community. So the vision's still the same in terms of community and impact. It's just changed with what I teach and how I teach it.
Love that. Yes. Just change how you teach. Yes. I've worked with Massey many times. We've hosted retreats together and done it. She's amazing. That's all I can say. She's amazing. And I've seen her blossom and bloom, and we both of us have been sort of in each other's lives as we've grown. So it's really exciting to be able to be here sharing now. And then as I get to know each one of you too, like I'm so excited as my little circle expands. Yeah. You know what I mean? Getting to know you on such a deep level, I really feel like I know you. You know what I mean? Like this really feels like I'm opening up, and we're opening up into a space that is so sacred. And I just want to honor that for a moment. Take a moment. I do this a lot. I just wanted to honor you for a moment and say thank you once again. And I'm going to keep doing this because I think it's so important. we just aren't grateful enough for each other in this world. And I'm so thankful that you're all willing to come and share and be here with us as we do this today and open into this sacred space and share these dreams, these visions, these changes, the realness, the rawness of it all. So who else has an answer for me for this particular question? When you first started, what was the dream you were chasing, and how close is your business today to that vision? Kim.
When I first started my first business, it was to stay home with the kids and raise them, right? They are now 22 and 25. So it's well changed by now. And I think now it's just the love of freedom. Now I have that chance to let the dogs out or let the chickens out, work outside. I work outside a lot. I'm in New England. It's beautiful here right now. So it's a great time to do that. So I feel like my vision is still always been to be supportive of someone or something. And I actually cross that over for my business as well. That's what I do. So yeah, that would be my
Beautiful. Thank you. You such fabulous women, such fabulous women. Anyone else would like to share? Anybody else?
I'll share.
Oh, yeah, go.
So I freelanced for many, many years while I was working full time. And I did it because I wanted to play and I wanted to have fun with creating because I'm a designer. And I was finding that I was so bored at work, climbing the ladder and just doing all of the things and meeting all the deadlines. And I didn't feel like I was of service. Like I didn't feel like I was really pouring my heart into what I was doing anymore. I was just doing it and going through the motions. So for me, starting a business on the side was just my chance to be creative again and to help others step into who they are. So I feel like I'm still doing that, but I'm doing less of the implementation part and more of the just conversations and community and coaching kind of thing and more big picture kinds of things. But it's still all around vision and stepping into where you want to go, even from before. So it has shifted a little bit, but it is all about that creativity and just owning who you are.
Yes. My business looks nothing like it did when it started. It was initially just a tiny shop where I did readings, and I was just gonna make some money from the road, and it was gonna just be this little business and this little something. Again, this is when I was playing small. And so, I was charging $11 for 3 hours of work and 3 hours of reading and things like that. So very, very big difference from where I started, but I'm still very much serving, still very much using the intuitive side. There's readings in everything I do because that's just what I do. But so Sarah, what we were talking about was when you first started, what was the dream you were chasing, and how close is your business to that original vision today?
Thank you. The dream I was chasing was for me to find out who I was authentically, to be free of being told what to do, that rebellious streak in me, and to make my own money, to not have to be relying on other people to pay me, and if I don't fulfill my contract, I could lose my job and lose my salary. So it was freedom I was looking for, and to live my life my way.
I love that. I love it when you said, "And a rebellious streak hit me." No, empowerment hit you. Boom. You don't have to listen to all the other people anymore, right? It does it. There's something so freeing, and you're right. It leads to freedom when we finally realize we can stop listening to what everybody else says and just live who we are. through our business, through our lives, because it wasn't just my business where I played small in life, right? I mean, it was, I had just learned to tune it down. The only time I was me was behind closed doors at home. Out in the world, I was this, this little, playing down, playing small, being quiet, fitting in, making it smooth for other people. Right. So, yes, that living authentically is huge. And I think for a lot of us, when we step into our own business, you're sort of confronted with it. Right. And especially if you stay within it, if you continue to evolve within it, you really start getting hit with it more and more as you go, because you have to be authentic in what you're delivering and what you're offering, right? Because the minute you find that you're offering something that's not within your authenticity, it's hard to deliver, it's hard to fulfill, it's hard to show up for, right? Because a lot of us, and inauthentically doesn't mean that you're not trustworthy or something. Just like you might have listened to somebody else's opinions about what you should be hosting for a course or a class. You might have listened to somebody else's opinion about how to host said course or class, right? And so therefore you feel completely out of alignment and don't even want to show up because it doesn't feel authentic. So when we talk about being authentic, it just means being authentic to what feels good to us and not just what somebody else is telling us is how it should be done, right? It's not to say don't listen to anybody's input. It just means take from it, adjust to what feels good to you, and move forward, right? Or take from it what you need and leave the rest, is what I like to tell my clients, because not everything I'm going to say is going to hit 100%, and neither is every other person that tells you their opinion either, right? Take what you need, take what hits right, leave the rest. So I love that, because, and that is authenticity. That is authenticity, is saying, nope, that doesn't fit me. That doesn't feel right. That's authenticity. That's saying, nope, sorry, that's not how I would talk. That's not how I would deliver. That's not how I would present, right? Renee, did I miss you? Did you have something you wanted to? I feel like maybe I overlooked you.
No, I didn't raise my hand, but yeah, I'll share. Yeah.
Okay.
When I started, I didn't leave corporate. I had actually been a stay-at-home mom. I had my kids later, and I had worked before, but then I wanted to be home with my kids. And then when my oldest started school, I was like, now is the time that I can find myself again. I felt like I had, even though it was what I wanted, like I felt like I had lost part of myself and I was trying to find, something for me. And so that's why I started my business. But then I started with something that I didn't enjoy at all. And so the nature of my business really changed. And it's still something for me, but it's become more. Like I've found that it's gone from just a vision for myself to a vision for others. Um, Being able to serve and show up for other women and help them find something that can move their business forward without getting, bogged down by questions and self-doubt.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Which bogs so many of us down. So many of us. All right. Next question. What's something that your business has given you, okay, that it's given you that you didn't even know to dream of at the beginning? Something you didn't even know that you should have tried to put into your intention, into your manifesting. For myself, the biggest thing that I can think of is the soul family I've gained, clients that became friends, sisters, speakers who became sisters. My daughter's working with me. Hello, amazing assistant. That was never in my business plan, right? Never in my business plan, but it's the sweetest win ever. Like, right? And I didn't plan for it. It wasn't something that I sat down and intentionally said, because I don't do that. First of all, if you know me at all, like I wouldn't put that on my daughter because she needs to be able to make her own free will choices. But nonetheless, like so I didn't plan for it, but here I am, right, sitting here with my daughter in my business. She's learning from me. She still has her own road, but we're working together right now. So like these are beautiful things. Massey and I, we met in a mastermind that we were in some many years ago now, and like we became quick friends. I told her it was funny that day. I remember I reached out in the chat and I was like, I just have this feeling we're going to be forever friends. And like, I thought in that moment, this is when I was starting to stop playing small, because I used to say that and people would go, oh my God, what's wrong with this woman? Like, woo, like, right. I don't know why we can't make friends like we did when we were on the playground. Hey, you're my friend now, grab a hand and run away together. But like, you can't do that, even though that's like still how I want to play. Like, but Massey let me play that way that day. I reached out and I was like, I have a feeling you and I are going to be friends forever, okay? and here we are. So, right? So, tell me, what is something that you just didn't even know to dream of, and yet here you are in your business, and your business brought it to you? Yes,
I
Massey.
just want to back that with, I'm so grateful you did that, first of all. And like that, I feel like that is the biggest thing, because never in my mind when I started years ago, like, yeah, like you said, it was never like, oh, I want to do this. I always knew I wanted to build a community, but I never thought of the connections and the network and like the possibilities and the collaborations that will come from that, right? Like you just said. And I've just, oh my gosh, I've met some of the most incredible women. And funny, because I used to do a lot of in-person events. And to me, I was like, if it's not in person, there's not the same connection. It's not the same thing. And I was very against online for a while until after 2020. But honestly, it was after 2020 when I started being more online and in these communities like this, that I've met some of the most incredible women that are now such close friends. And I was like, just never expected that. And like some of the women, like I've had the fortune to, I've been fortunate enough to meet Bunny in person, but a lot of the women that I'm still collaborating with and doing things with, I've never even met them in person, and we're so close. And I'm like, that is so cool. I just never thought that would happen. So yeah, love that.
Yes. Yes, it's so much fun, right? I mean, exactly. I was very out on the online space to begin with. I was like, oh, I just don't even understand. Like, how's this just even gonna work? And now I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. I can talk to people all over the place, and like we can get together. So, who else? Come on, tell me. What has your business given you? Yes, Kim.
I'm going to actually go out on a limb and just say the spirituality that I am and I've encompassed now. I didn't even know there were so many modalities out there, so many different options out there. I mentioned before, I'm in New England. I'm not that far away from Salem. So witches are the thing, right? And I actually have a Native American background. So that was like a thing. So I had that, but once I had my business, I was meeting priestesses and light healers and astrologers and people that were reading your oracle cards and tarot decks. And my world was just exploded. And I realized all of those little rocks that I had been collecting as a little girl. No, they actually mean something. And so it's just imagine like that just explosion of like, this just opens an entire new world for someone, because there's just so much out there that you don't realize until you can meet them. And my business did that for me, to be honest with you. I love that part of it. So
Yes. Yes.
I
Yes.
I can hop on the back of that as well, actually, because although I healed myself, wasn't until I wrote my book and other people gave me their own healing stories, that because I'd had my beliefs challenged, that from you need doctors and pills and hospitals to now your body will heal itself. And then I started reading all these other people healing things that I knew we could heal. But when people are messaging me saying, I've healed ALS, I've healed multiple sclerosis, I've healed stroke, Lyme, cancer, and all these other things. I mean, I only knew my own perspective, all the things I'd healed. And then all these people came along, and that blew my mind. That, that the power, the potential we've got within us is so huge, so vast. and so untapped into, and so not talked about. And maybe it was because, while I was in that medical model, I never heard of it because I wasn't in those circles. And as I stepped out of the medical model and into those circles, more and more just kept opening up to me. And it was absolutely huge.
Yes. Yes. I've done quite a bit of self-healing myself. Totally understand and hear you. It's just amazing, isn't it? Like, I just love, like, I could go left on woo-woo stuff and we could stay here all day long, and I'm realizing, like, wait, where am I at? Okay. But yes, amazing. Thank you so much. I love that this is a quote side effect, right? Like something that you didn't see coming, but there it was. Who else wants to share? Anybody else want to share what they gained that they did not see coming? My view just changed. So I apologize. I'm trying to fix my view here. I'm having a hard time seeing everyone. Just one moment. I'm not sure what happened. My view completely just suddenly changed itself. And okay then. All right. How about somebody, if you're raising your hand, just go ahead and start talking and share with me while I try to figure out what's
I'll share kind of going off of what was said already about community, but support. Like I never expected that I would find the support in the communities that I have found, like just the generosity of people and the women who want to lift each other up instead of compete with each other. I never expected to find that, and it has been probably one of the most rewarding things is knowing that there's other women out there who want to help each other grow and realize that we can grow our businesses and our lives together.
I love that you said that. I love that you're all sharing about the connections with women. I don't know about you. I was raised that women were catty and we needed to watch our backs and like you couldn't trust women. This is how I was raised. And then it didn't help any that both of my mothers, they did their best, but both of them were harsher women and very judgmental and taught me to be judgmental and things like that. So I really came from a background where it was scary to me stepping into circles of nothing but women. And then it became even more scary thinking about, I'm going to share with them all of these deep, dark, all of the things, because in a lot of these groups, we get raw, right? We get real. Like that's the whole idea, right? You get into these masterminds, all of these places, into these membership groups and all of that, because you want to be able to open up. But at first I was terrified that I would be judged, that I would be looked at differently, all of the things. So, all of the things like what we were talking about earlier, where you're worried about people's opinions and all the things. And yes, it was amazing to see the outreach, the uplifting that goes on. It was one of those where I was like, wait a minute, but I was told like my whole life this one thing like about women. And I won't lie, it had a lot of experiences like that outside of entrepreneurship that kind of lived up to that hype, unfortunately, but not in the entrepreneurial space. In the entrepreneurial space, I have found nothing but love, support, generosity in ways that I just never expected. So yes, thank you for bringing that up, because that is so true. That is so absolutely true. If not for so much of that, I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now. I probably would have given up. No, not probably. I would have, because there was one point where I gave up. And it was others that helped me step back into my light. So you're right. I mean, thank you for each one of you. And this is why I wanted to hear from all of you, right? Because even when we try to like think of things, we miss things and we forget to give gratitude for certain things that we should be constantly giving gratitude for. And this is a big one. This is a big one. Again, why I keep saying today, thank you so much for coming today. Thank you for supporting me, for supporting yourself, for supporting each other, right? We're here to uplift, and that's what we do. And you're so right. That is such an amazing benefit that I never saw coming. Did we get to everybody? Did everyone get to speak on that one?
I can just add something. I also something that just kind of, I resonate with everything that everyone said. But another thing too is that I've been such a sponge, just absorbing. There's just the amount of knowledge and growth that I have experienced, and just from interactions and from other stories, you're just knowing that you're not alone in this, and that even though maybe you're in a solopreneur, you are not alone in even though you have all the answers yourself for what you need, but other people are going through very similar situations. And think that that is just also something to really mention.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. And if you're smart, you're absorbing, right? You're taking in. Like I know for most of us, I think we spend a good portion when we first get started just sort of sitting and taking it all in, because it could be a lot, especially when you jump into something like a mastermind and there's other women that are way ahead of you. They're already making that, when you're first getting started. And I'm saying, you just jump in and you're like, okay, so I've made $100 this month. And there's other people in the group and they're like, yeah, so I had another $20,000 month. And you're like, okay. Right? I'm just going to sit over here and listen for a while because obviously y'all are doing something right. Right. So like, yes, it's amazing that so many women are willing, like you all are being here over the next 3 days, to share, to allow others to have that insight. Right. So now you're what got you started. You're now getting to help others, and through this summit and through your business, you're getting to do that exact same thing. You're getting to be the woman that uplifts. You're getting to be the woman that says, here, let me give you the information. You get to be the woman that says, I love you and let me support you. Right? I love this. I absolutely love it. All right. If you could sit down with your earlier self, way earlier, like the day before you started your business, what's the one truth you would tell her? For myself, I would say stop trying to be perfect. Quit worrying about your age, what you look like on camera, all of the things. Like, just be you. People love you for you or they don't. And that's like, for me, like I said, I know for myself, that's how it works. That's my personality trait. And I'm okay with that now. It took a long time to get there, but now I realize I'm a take it or leave it kind of gal. And that's okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because this just ensures that if you come to hang out with me and or work with me, we're aligned. We're good to go. Because if I hit you right the first time, we're going to be fine. Like, you know what I mean? Because you get who I am right out of the gate now. When I first started, that wasn't the case. I shrunk down, I quiet, I tried to do all of the things, try to be perfect, try to make sure my hair was just so and everything was just right. And what about my clothes? Half the time, look, I mean, like, what can you see from like here up? Like, and yet like I would get full on dressed and like do all the things and like, and that was just to do like a 10-second reel, right? Just so that I could show my face on social media. And hours of like sweating, going, okay, it's going to be fine. I'm not going to mess up. I'm going to say the words right. I'm going to do it. Okay. It's going to be fine. Ooh, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Wait, what was I going to talk about? Oh God, I don't remember. Right. And then I don't know about y'all, but the minute you see the record button, so I have record button paralysis, all of a sudden the light goes on and I'm all, oh, I think I'm having problems with the connection. Right? Like, that's how I started. So tell me, really, what would you tell just before you get started? What would you tell that version of you today? Because somebody needs to hear this. Somebody needs to hear it.
Yeah, I don't mind going first with this one because, oh my gosh, there's so many things, but two things particularly coming to mind. One, the first, you made me laugh when you said like the record button, because I remember my first live on Instagram. There was like nobody there at the beginning, and then there was one person, but it was like this guy that like I like dated once upon a time, and I was like, oh, this is so embarrassing. He's gonna be like, what are you doing? And I like exited out. I was like, I just got out of the live. I was like, But what I would tell like my younger self that was at those early stages is, one, like it's not like, don't worry about so much who's watching, how many likes did it get. Just share your message, right? It's not about, the perfectionist. It's not about so much how you look. Like, yes, there's an aspect like, yeah, that matters, but it's more so like, it's not like what I would tell her, like that woman is like, it's not about you, it's about the message. It's about the people that are ready to receive it, whether it's live or on a replay. Right. And that was hard because at first it was all about me. It was like, how do I look? How do I sound? What are they going to think of me? And it was me, instead of like, no, this is not about me. This is about something bigger than me. This is about the message that I'm here to deliver. This is about, like, even if it's just one person that hears it in my life, that's okay. And it took me a while to be okay with that, with showing up live. I did this like thing where I showed up live every day for 30 days. And the beginning was really scary. But what I would tell my younger self, that is like, just keep going. Don't worry about who's watching. Just you speak as if it was like a big crowd. And if there's only one person that's meant to hear it that day, you could change that one person's life, right? So it's like, it's just that, like, forget about the perfectionism and just keep going. And just because the metrics don't show that you're getting the instant gratification or the likes or the result or the comments that you did great, it's okay. Just keep going. Just keep going. I think that's the biggest message I can give her.
Yes. Just keep going. That is so very true. So yeah, sometimes I gotta psych myself up for it, but yes, just keep going because it does. And I thank you for sharing, because it makes a difference when we hear that it's not just us, that we're not the only one that did the, oh God, click, hang up, like done, and it happens, right? It's okay. Just get back on and try again, right? Okay. Thank you for sharing, Massey. Thank you. Who else? Anybody else would like to share? Nothing for your just before you got started self?
Maybe you're not seeing me. I have my hand up.
Oh, I'm not seeing.
I'm
I
here.
told you it changed my view again. I'm so sorry. What is happening? Okay, go. Yes, please. Just next time, just unmute. Like, really, if I'm not answering or not replying or something, or because it keeps changing my view and I don't know why. So I apologize about that. So, Kim,
No
please tell me,
worries.
what do you have to say?
Yes, no worries. I'm going to tell you wholeheartedly, believe in yourself. Believe in your intuition, believe in what yourself has to say to you, and go forth with that. I had a coach years ago tell me that I would not make a good coach. And I believed it for a while. But here's the thing, I had already been a coach to women in a previous business where I was teaching art and creating confidence in coaching them in confidence. And then this coach said, you shouldn't be a coach. You're not a coach. You're a service provider. Just continue to do what you're doing. And it took a long time for me to finally break through and say, she was so wrong. And how dare she do that? So, if I was to say anything, believe in yourself, believe in your intuition. And sometimes coaches are not right. Sometimes they do make mistakes, and move out of unhealthy ones for sure. Yeah.
Oh, I tell you what, for just a split second, I try to not live in any sort of anger these days, but for just a split second, I was like, what? Like when you said what your coach, I was like, what? Like, who does that? What? Like you're not, no. Yes, you are.
Yeah.
And thank goodness you did not listen to things. I have so many choice words for that, but for the crap that was being spewed at you, thank goodness you did not listen. And yes, coaches can be wrong, right? They're human beings too. Stuff happens. If it doesn't hit right, I tell my clients all the time, if it doesn't hit right, let me know. Like, let's look at it again. Let's look at it from another angle. Right? We're not always going to nail it. We're not supposed to. We're getting to know you like you're getting to know us, right? And you know that as coaches now, like you're all coaches in your own way, right? And we all know we're not 100% all the time, because sometimes we don't know some of the information. Like, the person we're working with might have held back something, or didn't realize they needed to tell us a specific point of view or something like that. And so the advice we give initially isn't spot on. That what you got was just not nice. But there are going to be times when coaches aren't 100%, but that's where communication comes in, right? Just make sure that you're letting your coach know, okay, this doesn't feel aligned to me. Can we look at this a different way? Can we shift this? It's okay to be open. But yes, believe in yourself, right? I know it's so easy for us to say, believe in yourself, right? Sometimes it can take a lot. And that's where I know so many of you here work with just that, right? With your clients about getting into that confidence, stepping into your power, right? If you are someone that is struggling with belief in yourself, you're not alone. Even people that are making millions of dollars today, right now, don't have belief in themselves. I'd love to share the story about Mother Teresa. If you've heard it before, well, bear with me. I'm going to tell it again. It's going to be really quick and really short. But Mother Teresa, if you don't know who she was known to be able to touch, hug, and heal, right? You could just be in her presence, and she was said to be able to heal you. She healed many, many people. But she also was very open in telling people she did not feel worthy. She could not understand why she had such a gift. This woman would lay hands and heal and would tell you how unworthy she was at the end of the day. It is amazing how even some of the most monumental people that have been within history didn't have self-belief. Work towards it, but keep going. As you expand, belief begins to expand also. Get yourself a coach, get yourself a mentor, talk to one of these beautiful women on the screen, talk to one of the beautiful speakers we're going to have over the next 3 days, right? Belief in yourself is paramount. Paramount. But all you need to begin with is just enough belief to get started. Get started. Allow yourself, give yourself permission, choose, right? You're allowed to do that. You're allowed to choose for yourself. You're allowed to follow your path. You're allowed to follow your joy. Choose. I have belief in you. These women have belief in you. You've got this. All right. All of us have had, I think probably every single one of us have had at least a moment where we've lost belief in ourselves. We've lost belief in our path. We've lost belief in what we're offering. It doesn't last always, but for a moment, we all have those moments. Life gets lifey and we go, oh, and things can get heavy for a moment. And we go, oh, this just isn't going to work. If you're feeling that, you're not alone, but it doesn't mean give it up, throw it in the towel either. Right. I just want you to know we've been there. I've been there. Every person on this screen, I venture to guess, has been there at some point in their life, whether it was about this company, whether it was about something else. We've all been there. Okay. We hear you, we see you, we know you, and we believe in you. All right. So we have just enough time, I think, for one more question before it's going to be break time, and our roundtable is going to come to an end because we got speakers that we want to hear from, right? So the roundtable is just to get us started. Okay, so I think this is a good final question. What was the moment you realized I'm not just running a side hustle anymore, I'm a CEO? When was your moment? For me, I signed that first high ticket client and they didn't blink at my price. Even I was blinking at my price like this behind the scenes, hoping they're not going to notice as I tried not to choke as the number came out of my mouth. Right. And I'm like, no, you're worth it. Right. So I pulled together, got powerful in that moment, stated my price, and won't lie, still almost fell off of my chair when she was like, okay. Right. But that was the moment. That was the moment I went, this is bigger than coaching. This is bigger than like a little business. This is a real business. Like, this is for real. And I guess I'm in charge. Right. That was the moment where it all got really real. That first high ticket client. And I'm like, whoa, Not only did I land it, now I got to deliver it. Exciting, scary all the time at the same time. I teach to use the word exciting, right? Replace any words like anxiety, scared, stress with exciting, because they all react the same in the body. That nervous system reacts the same way, but when we use the different word, when we say excited instead, triggers different things in that subconscious mind so that we actually can still make movement forward. So that's my little tip. Excitement. So for me, I was feeling excitement at that point because I not only did I make the sale, right, but it was a big one. And now I got to deliver, but that was also the most exciting thing because I got to deliver. And I was like, yes, I sold the big package. This is it. And I was finally going to get to do what I had put together and I was so excited about. And in that moment, I went, that's it. I owned my business. Like all of a sudden, it wasn't just maybe some daydream. I was standing in it in that moment. So tell me about your moment. When did it not become a side hustle? Yes, Renee, I love it. Yes.
Mine was when it was a high ticket client and she had been in business for a really long time, revamping something. And I offered to help her with it and she booked the call and we got on the call and she's, very in charge person. And she's like, wait. No, this is your call. You're the expert. And when she said, this is your call, you're the expert, I was like, oh my gosh, I am. Like, like that was the moment where I was like, yeah, I am the expert. Let's do this.
Yes, exactly. You're like, oh, wait, who? Yeah. Oh, yeah, yes, I am. Yes, my call. That's right. Yes. Exactly. Right. And all of a sudden you're like, okay, let me put on the shoes. Here I am. Right. In that moment, you go, this is real. All right. Who else? Who else has got that moment for me? Yes, Sarah.
Mine was in my first business because I was subcontracting to 4 different companies and they were all paying me and it went straight into my bank. And it was towards the end of my first financial year and I contracted an accountant to do my accounts. I'm like, oh my God, look, I've made some money. It was huge because obviously as a PAYE, as a nurse, money's just taken from my salary and you just don't worry about things like paying the taxes and the insurance because it's all taken out. But to have that realization that I've got this money in the bank and now I've got to pay the accountant and the taxes and I've got enough money to do that.
That is the CEO moment, right? When you're like, oh, I need somebody to help me figure out all of this money. Yes, if that's not a CEO moment, I don't know what is, right? Lori, you had your hand up next.
Yeah, I have a client that I worked with, and she was a referral. And we get on the discovery call, and she was the first one to actually share a creative brief with me. I'm like, I'm the creative here. So I was a little taken back. And then so she wanted to be prepared. And so our first project, I actually pitched a VIP day, and it was the first time I had done that. And I was nervous but excited. And the next project, she loved everything, but the next project, she says, oh no, I trust you. Was that I trust you part. You get me, you get my brand, go. Like she let go of the reins and was like, you've got me. I know you do. So it was that trust factor that was like, oh my gosh, I do know what I'm doing. And I do get her. Like I was able to fully embody what she was trying to do and help her deliver that.
Yes, amazing. Excellent. I love that. All right. Kim, Massey.
I'll share, but I've had that moment many times because, like I said, I've pivoted quite a few times. But the first time, if we're going back to when I first started, that first hit of like, oh my God, this is real, is when I started the wellness and yoga business back then. And I just remember a friend, somebody I went to college with. She just like I started putting myself out there online and then doing different things. And she found me on, I think it was through Facebook, something I posted, and she messaged me, and she was now I forget what was her role. But she had like a really high role in a hotel, right? In a Hilton hotel. She was like a very high marketing head. And she said, I saw what you're doing and I need somebody to come in and run this like wellness event for the hotel for this big conference that we have. And I literally had just started like a month ago. But I put myself out there from the beginning as somebody that was like professional and like knew what she was doing, even though I had no idea what I was doing. I was just like, I'm just gonna put myself out there and see what happens. And like she was like, how much will you charge for the weekend? And I'm like, I have no idea. I'm like, I don't even did I freeze? You're frozen, bunny. I don't know if I'm frozen too.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Yeah, and she's like, let me know, put together a proposal and like send it to me. And I was like, I've never done a proposal. I was like, I don't even know this is my first like real client. And I was like, I don't even know. And then at that moment, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is a real business. And like I got to like charge a price that I never thought I could charge because I started doing research and like doing this and like comparing. But then I was like, no, I'm gonna charge way more. Oh my gosh. And I remember I went to my mentor at that time and she was like, oh no, you can't charge that much. Like that's too much. You're just starting out. Yeah, one of those. I was like, be
Oh no.
tell me what I should charge. And I'm so glad I did not listen to her. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to throw out this crazy price that seems crazy to everybody. And if I get it, great. And if I don't, that's okay too. Cause I'm just starting out. I was almost like scared to get that because I was like, this is way bigger than me now. But I put out this ridiculous price. I put a proposal together. She was like, okay, great. And I was like, I was like, okay, this is a real business now. And like, I am the CEO of this and I have to put the marketing together and the plan and the execution and all of these things. And I was like, wow, like that was the moment that I was like, this is real. And like, I get to charge these prices. And like, I didn't listen to somebody that says you can't do this. You're just starting out. And like, I do want to say this for anybody who's listening right now and that is at the early stages of business. I feel like it's such a common thing to do when you first start out. I'm just going to charge a little bit because I'm new. I'm just gonna do this for free. And it's like, no, because what you're doing with that is letting people know you're new and don't have experience. And why would they need to know that? Right? So from the beginning, I came in like, oh yeah, I've been doing this for a long time. I'm a professional. And you know what? It was scary, but I did it. I delivered, and they were so happy that they kept me coming back for like every conference. And I was like, this is insane. But that was my first hit. And I've had this, on multiple levels and different times in my business. But that was the first time that I was like, I'm the boss here. It was really cool.
Love that. Yes. And yeah, and exactly. And thank goodness you decided to charge what you wanted to charge, right? I mean, you can't charge that much. You can charge whatever you want to charge. It's your business. And people are either going to say yes or they're going to say no. But I highly encourage you, do not do what I did. Do not do what I did and stay at $11 for, an hour for a reading that took me 3 hours. And I stayed with that pricing for a very long time. So yeah, exactly. Breathe deep, Sarah. Yes, that's exactly what I did. I did. And I now am very vocal about sharing that with other people because it was my fears. It was my not feeling good enough. It was my not having belief in myself. It was all of those things that had me at $11. Okay. Not because what my services were worth. Oh, are you kidding? I had over 200 and something 5-star reviews on my shop. 5-star all the way across. I had never had anything less than 5 stars. I had nothing. Well, of course, I mean, it was $11, but I mean, they were all very, how great I was, all of the things, and still belief stood in my way. But I kept going because I knew I was continuing to work on it. My point in saying this is don't shame yourself for where you're at. Just realize where you're at and then seek any help or assistance you need to move forward from where you're at if you are stuck. Okay? There's no shame in your game. No judgment here whatsoever. I'm here being totally transparent with you. I stayed with that pricing for like 2.5 years. To make it worse, I doubled down because I had a moment where things went sideways in that business. That's one that I actually shut down. And I actually went back to charging nothing. So I'm here to tell you, I have rode the roller coaster. I'm not just spewing stuff at you and going, yeah, you're going to do great. No, I'm here to tell you I have lived the road. I really have. And I can speak to experience when I say Massey is absolutely right. You do not have to wait until you have 10 years under your belt to charge what you're worth. You're worth it right now. Okay. And it goes by what you're offering, right? And if you're offering your time is valuable. And I'll leave it at that. All right. Your time is valuable. It's one thing when you're recording a course and you're doing evergreen and all the things. Those are great. But if you're handing over your actual time, your time is valuable. Okay. Belief in yourself is paramount. Like, what have we talked about? We talked about belief being paramount, making sure that you reach out for the support that you need, right? And we've all been in masterminds, and now we're here doing this together, right? There is support out there for you. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a break until 1 o'clock when we're going to have our first speaker.
This is the spark that takes you higher. Step in the circle, you've heard the sound, but stay for the fire, it's sacred ground. This is the place your soul's been shown. The next room's waiting, welcome home.